Sometimes you just want to have fun and watch a movie. Sometimes I don't want to do like a dissertation on a movie. Oh, who in chat said just let people enjoy things? He's talking to you. Ooh, don't smoke in bed. You're getting called the out. You cannot convince me that this isn't Essence of Thought with a fake mustache on. That's what this is right now. This is Essence of Thought in a mustache, in a disguise, in like a Scooby-Doo disguise. If you cannot make enough money to pay your rent from making YouTube videos, get a fucking job. Let's party. I want to watch a little bit of this In Praise of Shadows video. And then we're gonna do I love Kim Possible a lot in Lily Orchard. That is our plan. Okay, that is our plan. Eating soup based. We're gonna talk so much shit about you. Is this really loud or is it just me?
You know perfectly well what I'm talking about.
It's just me.
If you wish to stay here under my jurisdiction, you will toe the line as I see fit, for your sake as well as mine. You have a very evil mind, Aunt Phoebe.
Over the weekend, February 16th through the 18th, I traveled to Concord, North Carolina to attend this year's Mad Monster Party, which was far and away the most redneck and unprofessional convention that I'd ever been to in my life that was operating at this level.
Well, it's in North Carolina.
The only thing that I could really compare it to for you is that it felt like something that was being run by that guy at your local small-town comic book store that had somehow gotten out of hand. The reason for my visit was due to a large amount of negative attention that the convention had received surrounding their headlining guest of honor, the alleged rapist, Kevin Spacey. But before we get to that, I think that we should talk about the convention itself, because once I arrived there, I realized very quickly how these conditions resulted in a Spacey invitation, as everything in the way that this was conducted is like the epitome of a misguided and mismanaged mess. Now, booking Spacey is, in any sense of public optics, a very dumb idea, and you could try to write these people off as just straight-up morons, but they fully understood what they were doing, as on all of their public advertisements, they just happened to forget to include Spacey along with all of the faces of the other big guests. They knew that they had to spend this. First of all, I arrived at the convention and their small main parking lot was already filled, and they gave me directions to their overflow parking area that upon arrival, I realized was well over half a mile away from the event, and that they had arranged no shuttle services whatsoever, meaning that I had to walk down a dirt.
Yeah, it's overflow parking. Yeah, you're gonna have to walk. That's like the whole point. Yes?
Trail that had large rocks in it in the February cold to get back to their main building, which, you know, was fine for me. I'm in relatively good health. But you can't expect all guests who want to attend your public event to be able to physically—
Oh, okay, if the disabled parking is probably going to be like right up against the venue. Overflow parking is for people who are there late. I don't think disabled people are like going to be late. And even if they are, they have disabled parking? What is this criticism? What?
Do that. At night, I then had to walk the same trail back to my car in pitch black darkness, which is just a lawsuit waiting to happen. I'm not—
Welcome to going to public events, I guess? What?
Someone to ever actually make a complaint about something like that, but the reality of the situation is that not providing shuttle services to guests who can't walk when you make them park so far away immediately makes you seem totally unprofessional.
The guests that can't walk are probably in the disabled parking.
When I finally got inside to purchase a weekend ticket at the front desk, they tried to put a paper wristband on me. I tried to clarify, saying that I didn't want a day pass, I wanted the weekend pass. And they said that that was the weekend pass. I asked if they didn't have any security badges, which are the norm for essentially any con of this size, and they said no. They instead expected me to wear this paper wristband at all times.
That's like... yes? I have been to many concerts and festivals, and like that's normal. You normally just get a wristband.
For 3 days straight. By the second day, it was falling apart because I had taken a shower and it became very soggy and uncomfortable to wear. There were no posted schedules of the events anywhere in the building. I asked the front desk if they had any printed flyers or brochures of when the Q&A events were going to be held, and they told me no. They had nothing printed, and that the only way to find out what time things were happening was to go to the Mad Monster website and find their schedule there. At their
That's normal. That's normal. That is normal. Any time that I have ever been to a festival or a concert, you download an app on your phone or you look on the website. Yeah. Every single festival I have ever been to, you download the app. If it's an Insomniac event, you download the Insomniac app, and it has all the set times, all like who's playing in what order at what stage and shit like that. We live in a digital age, bro. We live in a digital age. Are you going to be pissed next that they don't take cash? What? This is What a little fucking baby. What a little piss baby.
Q&A events, the first 10 rows of the auditorium were reserved for VIP ticket holders only. The problem with that is that next to nobody purchased the VIP tickets, which resulted in the celebrities being separated from the audience by 10 mostly empty rows, really killing any kind of ability for the guests to build any kind of energy with the crowd, resulting in the panels being painfully awkward at times. Also because the guests were not actually really that famous, which we're gonna get to. The audience often just didn't have any questions for them because they didn't know who they were. So most of the Q&As only lasted for about 20 minutes or so, even though they had all been scheduled for an hour. I didn't eat before I got there the first day and expected to buy a snack at some point while I was there, and was very upset to learn that there was only an alcohol stand in the convention floor, and no food whatsoever. So I didn't end up eating until about 10 p.m. later that night. The next day I did actually learn that there was a food area for the con set up in the lobby of the hotel next to the convention center, but there were no signs telling you of this, and it was very much hidden. Luckily, the first night after having a late dinner, I could relax in the indoor pool that my hotel was advertised as having, which was just magnificent. Although, I guess I can't blame that on Mad Monster. Now, okay, first off, the argument should be made that even if the past 10 years of his life had not happened, should Kevin Spacey himself be the headlining guest at a horror convention in the first place? Most people, if you ask them what horror movies Spacey had been in, would probably space on an answer, which that answer being is—
Seven. Kevin Spacey is in 7. That's like—
has been in exactly one horror film, 7, which was the primary visual theme of the convention, as they really emphasized that they had—
Okay, if the fucking convention is about 7, and it's a horror movie convention, yes, I would imagine that they would have Kevin Spacey there. I know Kevin Spacey is bad, you guys. I understand Kevin Spacey is bad. Yes, I don't disagree. He is a bad man. Okay, but like, if the convention is 7 themed, yeah, they're gonna have the guy from 7 there. And then it sounds like this guy is like a mega fucking nerd, which is okay. I am also a mega fucking horror nerd. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you know that the convention is going to be 7 themed, and you knew that Kevin Spacey was going to be there because he's like the main bad guy in 7, would you just not go? Like, that would be my thing, is like, I'm trying to think of like a comparable example. So in the EDM industry, Bass Nectar is like a serial like sex pest, raper, like sexual assaultist and what have you. And so if I was going to go to a festival and Bass Nectar was playing, I just wouldn't go. I just wouldn't go to the festival that he was playing at. So I wouldn't like buy tickets for like festival Bass Nectar and then go and be like, why the fuck is Bass Nectar here? I wouldn't go. I wouldn't spend my money on that because I like, obviously rape is bad and I don't support rapists. So like, I wouldn't go. Like, I don't understand. If this guy was aware that this was a 7 themed horror convention and that Kevin Spacey was going to be there and he had big umbrage with Kevin Spacey being there, which is fine. That's well within your right. If you know, don't want to support Kevin Spacey and like his rehabilitation or whatever, that's totally fine and within your right. Like, I just wouldn't go to that convention. You know what I mean?
Gotten Spacey as a guest by having all of the staff at the convention being marked by having these bright red shirts on them that read, "What's in the box?" The photo ops with him were a staged event with a desert backdrop, where you could get on your knees in front of Kevin Spacey, with your head through a hole that they had cut in a cardboard box that he was holding. You can't actually make that up. People were lined up for hours.
That's the big part in 7 though. That's like the big part in 7 is what's in the fucking box, and it's his wife's head. That's, sorry, spoilers, but like, yeah, that would be like the photo shoot. It's like if I went to an Anne Boleyn fucking conference, you would probably take pictures like on the guillotine, would you not? Was she guillotined? How did Anne Boleyn die? How did Anne Boleyn? She was beheaded, right? Yeah, she was beheaded. So, like, if I went to an Anne Boleyn festival, I would imagine the photo ops would be you about to be beheaded. That's, yes. Yes? Or if I went to, like, a Marie Antoinette convention, I would imagine that we would be doing, like, the guillotine photo shoot. No? Like, it... Emphasizing the kind of, the kneeling is kind of gross, but, like, how else are you going to stick your head in the box? But, like, at the end of the movie, he's on his knees, and Brad Pitt is like, what's in the fucking box? Like, that's That's part of the movie. I mean, I do see what you're saying, where like he was like a creepy molester or whatever. So like kneeling in front of him is maybe a little uncomfortable. I could agree with that for sure. But like the head in the box thing is like, that's part of it. I don't know.
Over the course of 3 days to pay Kevin Spacey, whose assets are estimated to be worth between $16 and $20 million, $300 each to get on their knees in front of him, after the announcement in January of his inclusion at the convention. Mad Monster, as most people sadly do when they are being publicly criticized, refused to cancel Spacey's appearance, instead deciding to double down and buckle up for a rough ride. They stopped posting on their Twitter and locked all of their comments, instead deciding to focus their promotion on the more pedestrian and less socially vocal social media platforms, like Facebook and Instagram. On those platforms, they reportedly began to block anyone who said something negative about their decision or the convention, one of which was the drag queen Naomi Monroe, according to WCCB Charlotte. One fan of the convention who had been going for years named Will Kinsler, who you may know as being involved with sports video games, was blocked by the Mad Monster page for expressing his concerns, and would later tell reporters, "I was dumbfounded, right? Shocked. I was disappointed immediately. It doesn't make me interested in attending this time or ever again. To invite somebody with these sorts of allegations of sexual misconduct surrounding them into what feels like our home of our community. You know, it was really concerning. It feels like a bit of a betrayal, right? I just wanted to tell them I don't think this is right and I don't like it. And now they've kind of taken my voice away from me. I'd hate for people to see this, that don't know and feel like we're a different kind of community than we are, and that we would welcome somebody in our community that's accused of doing these things that he's doing is disappointing for me. That somebody might find that that is a reflection on us, and I want people to know that that's not the case at all." They would also delete any negative comments on their posts so that it looked like everyone universally supported what they've been doing. They posted a clip from House of Cards onto their Facebook page, where Frank Underwood confronts a homeless man who has been accused by the police and is suffering from a psychotic episode where he tells him, "Nobody can hear you. Nobody cares about you. Nothing will come from this." They also posted on their Instagram story an image of Spacey with the text, "Nobody cares about you." One major convention manager of a different event, who will go unnamed here, criticized their decision by saying, "As convention organizers, it's so important that we look at the big picture. People watch us. They watch what we're doing and who we put our dollar behind. Hiring on performers and celebrities is an endorsement, not just of them, but of what they've done over their lives." Another convention, called Days of the Dead, posted on their social media a great little piece announcing that Ian Wyatt would be at their event in January, saying that he was going to be the only Predator at Days of the Dead.
Hi everybody, it's Kevin Spacey here, your mad monster, coming to Concord, North Carolina, February 16th through the 18th. That's right.
Okay, so everybody knew that he was going, apparently. Yes, Kevin Spacey has Sussy Wussy passed, yes. If you don't want to contribute to that, then don't go. Like, again, it's like we went to the 7-themed horror festival where Kevin Spacey was going to be there, and then we got there and we saw Kevin Spacey and we were like, what? Like, just don't go. Like, I don't understand why we're crying.
All 3 days, and I'm looking forward to getting there. Also, while I got you, just want to take a moment and thank all my fans for all your support through all these years. It's meant so much to me, and I hope you can make it, because it'd be nice to meet in person.
And the thing about all of this is that for security reasons, Spacey was never once actually seen on the convention floor itself. He did not have a table, he did not take selfies, he did not do a Q&A. It was like he wasn't even there. They just had him locked in the back.
Is that not like a good thing though? So like, let's just play this out a little bit. Let's kind of like churn our logic wheel for a minute. Let's say that, because I don't follow Kevin Spacey like at all. I don't really know what he's been up to. If Kevin Spacey has these allegations of like sexual misconduct, and I assume that he hasn't like got caught molesting and then recently molested. I would imagine that he probably is like done doing that now. I would assume that he learned his lesson and he's not doing that anymore. But if this is Kevin Spacey and Kevin Spacey has all these allegations, wouldn't you want him to be kept away from everybody? Right? Like he's like this molester. So is it not a good thing that he's not like out on the floor, like walking around where he could just like grab somebody's like wiener or something? Like, isn't that a good thing? We don't want him just running around like grabbing wieners. I feel like that's a good choice from the convention, and probably from like a liability standpoint as well. Just like, hey, let's make sure that Kevin Spacey isn't just like walking around so he can like grab people's dicks. I think that's a good idea, but I forget that we're like being mad about like, yeah, exactly. Do we want him around us or not? Like, I guess he could have like Zoomed. He could have done like a Zoom meeting, like a virtual like Q&A, I guess. But like, yeah. And again, the reason that they probably didn't do a Q&A, and this is just my wild guess, you guys, they probably didn't want to do a Q&A because everybody was going to be like, so are you a molester or what? That would probably be the entire Q&A. Like, I would imagine if they did, like, a Pirates of the Caribbean, like, fucking convention or whatever, they probably wouldn't have Johnny Depp do a Q&A. Because everybody would be like, so did you beat the shit out of Amber Heard or what? Like, it wouldn't be... If I was Johnny Depp, I wouldn't do a Q&A. Like, that's just what it's going to turn into. I don't understand what we're mad about. Yeah, it would have been a live rape review. Exactly. So it's probably a good thing that, one, it makes sense to me why he didn't do a Q&A. And then two, I feel like we would be excited that he wasn't just like walking around with everybody. If he's a molester, we probably don't want to give him opportunities to molest at the conference, but
act like he was the fucking Wizard of Oz for staged photographs, because anything else could have exposed him to uncomfortable questions. And to that, I just gotta ask.
How long ago was this? How long ago was Kevin Spacey accused of abuse? In 2017. And this was very public. Are there any questions that he hasn't answered? Like, I don't know. It's been a minute. Like, and they're there to do, like, I understand that you can feel like a certain way about it, but like, why go in the first place? And then two, it would make sense to me that he's not going to do a Q&A because everybody's just going to ask about like his allegations, and that's not what everybody is there for. I don't, and apparently this is just like a fucking Loserville festival with like shitty parking, shitty customer service, shitty food, whatever. So like, who cares? And then if anything, are you not excited that this is what Kevin Spacey has been reduced to? Kevin Spacey isn't going to like these red carpet, like Comic-Con level events and shit to talk about his acting career. He is confined to this shitty, like dog shit fucking horror convention where he's not even allowed to talk to people. Is this not like fair enough punishment for his crimes? That this is like the best that he can do in his career at this point? Like, I don't know.
If he isn't even going to be participating in the convention itself, why ruin your own reputation and name by having him there? Why choose to die on this hill? Because despite him not physically...
Because it's a 7 convention. And if this is some podunk fucking loser fucking thing, I don't think Brad Pitt is gonna go.
Being seen, just him being in the building for 3 days lingered over the event like a haunting spirit. The vibes of this place were truly awful. Because they booked him, it resulted in many reputable vendors or guests refusing to even show up, by either not booking the convention or canceling their reservation. And this drastically hurt the overall tone and the experience of the convention itself. The atmosphere was genuinely depressing. I'm not trying to be an asshole when I say this, but one of the biggest guests that they could book was Tim Capello, the featured extra from the Lost Boys that plays the saxophone that is only on screen for a few seconds. One of their other major guests was Michael Lerner, who was not Michael Myers in Halloween 6, but instead was that guy's stunt double that was only used in a few shots in the film. I've talked to both of those guys, and they're really...
Michael Myers wears a mask the whole fucking movie. If I met the guy who played Michael Myers, I would never know. Like, what? It's like, if I had the opportunity, like, I could have ran into, like, Marshmallow or something in public. I would never know. He wears a fucking mask. Like, I don't...
nice. Oh, and I genuinely mean no disrespect to either of them, but even they would probably agree that they are not horror A-listers. They do not draw in crowds. Because they decided to back Spacey, they really had to scrape the bottom of the horror barrel to get anyone to come to this thing. And despite what they would say about having record numbers, the attendance felt completely dead. It really felt like there were about half as many people as there should have been there on a normal year. I mean, we're talking about a convention that not too long ago had Art the Clown and Captain Spaulding in the same room doing a joint clown photo op. They used to have legitimate guests, and by comparison, this thing was a total joke. They only had 23 guests at the show, including Spacey. 5 of them were old retired wrestlers who had nothing to do with horror. One was Taryn Manning, who basically has nothing to do with horror. They had 2 of the Dukes of...
Okay, so it just sounds like this was a shitty convention. Okay.
Hazard Boys. You had Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville. You had Chaz Palminteri from The Usual Suspects, who was there because of Spacey. You had Tom Cavanaugh from The Flash. There were only a couple of people who actually had anything to do with horror at all, like Shannon Elizabeth. The only other big names they got were Lou Diamond Phillips, who has nothing to do with horror, and Kiefer Sutherland, who was only there for a few hours.
Okay, but Lou Diamond Phillips.
And even though I do love them, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, Felicia Rose and Kane Hodder were both also there, which I'd say this in the nicest way possible, but they're basically at every single one of these things, so them being present is neither here nor there. So you can see that by booking Spacey, they totally ruined the show that they were throwing, even being about horror, because they couldn't get anyone with any major clout who was both respectable and majorly relevant besides those that I've mentioned within the genre to actually show up. Fellow horror YouTuber Cody Leach was actually also at the convention, and made his own videos on his experiences with it. He's a guy that I have not historically agreed with on most things. He listed Midsommar and The Lighthouse on his worst of list of 2019, complaining that horror shouldn't be this pretentious and snooty, his words, not mine, and should focus instead on being entertaining and not trying to be cute by using art house aspect ratios. Again, his words, not mine. He also did not appreciate the homoerotic basis of the movie, and complained that it was just weird for weird's sake, and to me just didn't try to appreciate the film on its level. In my personal
Oh, so he didn't agree with your analysis of fucking Midsommar, so you're gonna get super fucking mad about it. And I think the thing is like, he's not being ironic, right? Like, when I say that Midsommar is my favorite movie, and somebody's like, Midsommar sucks, and I'm like, oh, you're literally Hitler. Like, why would you say that about my favorite movie? Like, I'm obviously joking, but this guy is like genuinely offended that this guy didn't agree with his takes about like a movie. What?
Opinion, he is a deeply unserious critic and can actually be to an extent a symbol of what I want the message of this video to be about. Because if you watched his video about Mad Monster Con, you would think it was a great time, a wonderful convention.
Oh no, he had fun and you didn't. Call the fucking police. Oh no. He didn't fucking moan and bitch and cry about the parking situation. Oh boo hiss. Oh boo hiss. Maybe he got there earlier than you did so he didn't get a dog shit parking spot. Like, is this like for real?
There is a clear dichotomy between our two experiences, and I think there's something interesting in that. And this ties into this theory that I've had for a long time that is kind of the thesis of this video, and that I think there's actually not one, but two distinct horror communities that do not overlap. One that is more concerned with writing and thinking about how our own experiences and world are reflected through art. A group that overall is less concerned with how much a movie makes at the box office and more with what it is trying to say as a work of art, and how it relates to ourselves and culture as people. And then you have another that is more conservative and traditionally capital A American, and is based more...
Are you kidding me? I understand that if you are somebody who makes political analysis of like horror movies, you're going to look at everything through a political lens. And I think that's fine. If you want to talk about, the capitalist analysis of Freddy versus Jason, I don't care. Like, that's fine. To extend that to the very like reductionist take that conservatives are just like so pea-brained that they only care about like if it makes money. Like conservatives are the only ones that care about that. Or that conservatives are like too dumb to appreciate the highly complex nuances of Midsommar. I know just as many left-leaning people that had like a pretty shallow understanding of Midsommar as well. Like maybe this is just me, and I don't like talking about politics, and I say that all the time. I don't like talking about politics, but I think it's really like, it's just such a meaningless statement when people are like, all conservatives are too stupid to understand X, Y, and Z. It's like, just because you're conservative doesn't mean that you can't understand like, or you can't have like thoughtful analysis of like Midsommar as a movie, or that you can't, consider the highly complex nuances of XYZ movie or whatever. That doesn't really have anything to do with it. Like, I'll make broad generalizations sometimes, like I think we all do, but to like have such a bottom of the barrel take where it's like conservatives are too dumb to appreciate horror films is like not the take. Because like, here's an example, like, conservatives always misunderstand the meaning of like V for Vendetta, The Punisher, what's the other one? The Matrix, right? Like they watch them and they think they're movies about like conservatives like owning the libs, but it can't be farther from the truth because the writers are usually like communists, like the Wachowski sisters, but like, or even Watchmen is another example of that as well. But that isn't unique to like left-leaning people or right-leaning people, excuse me. Left-leaning people can have just as stupid of a take about like the meaning of a film. It's not like exclusive to right-wing people. And again, for a movie like Midsommar, like all of the undertones of Midsommar, I feel like you have to do like a lot of... This is going to sound so pretentious, so please forgive me. I feel like you have to do like a pretty good amount of like watching the movie and like paying attention to it and like rewatching it and like connecting things or whatever. I feel like your average person just watches it and they're like, that was cool. And that's fine. That's a fine way to engage with film. I don't know why that makes you like a shitty film bro if you just like watching movies because they think they're cool. Because there's plenty of movies that I like because they're cool, not because they have like some fucking ultra deep symbolic meaning about the universe or whatever, just because I think they're fun and they're cool. Are we not allowed? Is that bad? Are you not allowed to have a good time?
Or in basic consumerism, and viewing movies strictly as entertainment and nothing else. A group that often gets
Is that not what movies are?
angry at the very notion of subtext existing within a work of fiction, and views art not as a means to express what it means to exist, but instead that sees the value of creation just within the context of how fun and experience that product is. And product is the right word here, as this side of horror is—
Sometimes you just want to have fun and watch a movie. Sometimes I don't want to do like a fucking dissertation on a movie.
is obsessed with money and defending companies, and even when putting on a mask of pretending to be left-leaning, everything that they do is in the service of capital and big business. I hate to put it in terms like this, but I think deep—
Oh no, we spent like $2 billion on this movie. We need to make money back. Like, hello? If you want people to just be like making movies in their basement that are dog shit fucking quality for the rest of eternity, okay. But I actually like movies where they have high production value. And the reason they have high production value is because they make a lot of money. Like, you have to make money. You have to pay the people. Like, is that not like the ultimate, like, is that not anti-leftist right there, you guys? Is that not an anti-leftist sentiment? Do you just want the people that work on these movies to not get paid? Do you just want them to be, like, free workhorses? You have to pay the people that make the movie. It has to make money. Otherwise, they can't keep making... I'm upset. I don't want to watch this anymore. I don't like this. This guy is fucking annoying.
He watched Midsummer and went, that's cool. But it's not like he don't acknowledge that it can be analyzed and dig into it.
Exactly. Like, you can do both. Like, you can watch, like, a super deep, meaningful film, but be like, dude, that was sick as fuck. Like, when they put him in the bear suit and burned him, that was so cool, dude. That was awesome. What a great way to end the movie, because that guy was a piece of shit. Like, that's a fine takeaway from Midsummer. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool that at the end they burned the shitty boyfriend. Cool. That's fine. Thank you for the $5. Fuck.
In the heart of horror at the moment, and the country as a whole. There's a problem of anti-intellectualism raging at people who want art to be more, or to stand for something important. A group of people yelling, just let people enjoy things, while the other side argues that—
Oh, who in chat said just let people enjoy things? He's talking to you. Ooh, don't smoke in bed. You're getting called the fuck out. You guys aren't allowed to enjoy things. You actually have to, like, literally want to kill yourself in a video game every single time you watch a movie, because you have to write a 10-page essay at the end of everything. So true, dude. Oh my god, I hate this guy. I fucking hate this guy. I hate this guy. I'm glad that he's getting roasted. This guy's an asshole. I hate this guy.
we can do better. We can be more. Which is something we are going to get to soon, so just bear with me here. I know this is a long video. In his 33 minutes of talking about the convention and everything that happened around it, Leach fails to mention Kevin Spacey outside of a single joke about the situation over 20 minutes into the video.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, he said, hang on, I'll go back, don't smoke in bed. Don't smoke in bed, this is for you, pay attention.
While the other side argues art to be more, or to stand for something important.
Oh wait, hang on.
There's a problem of anti-intellectualism raging at people who want art to be more, or to stand for something important. A group of people yelling, just let people enjoy things, while the other side argues that we can do better. We can be more. Which is something we're going to get to soon, so—
Yeah, don't smoke in bed, you anti-intellectual dumb bitch. Art! Don't smoke in bed. Art!
Just bear with me here. I know this is a long video. In his 33 minutes of talking about the convention and everything that happened around it, Leach fails to mention Kevin Spacey outside of a single joke about the situation over 20 minutes into the video.
Kiefer Sutherland was outside in the actual hallway with his own isolated room. That's star power right there. The only other person that had that was Kevin Spacey. He was on a different floor for completely different reasons. But
not only that, if we look at this footage that I shot, compared to the footage that he shot, you can see that he has clearly framed his angle standing roughly at the exact same spot I was, so as to not show the giant Kevin Spacey banner hanging over the lobby. At another point, he includes a table with some photographs of Spacey near the very end, but outside of that, you wouldn't even know that he had been there based on his video. And you know, I think that people who are in my line of work have a certain level of responsibility to appropriately cover the things that we choose to talk about. So in my opinion, making a glowing half-hour-long video about how cool Mad Monster is in the wake of them trying to publicly rehabilitate Spacey's image into a right-wing personality at a convention held in the South.
If you're a leftist, don't you think that that would be like a really valuable principle of yours is rehabilitation, maybe? Personally, I say like, fuck molesters and like rapists and shit like that. I don't give a single fuck about reintegrating or rehabilitating them. I don't care. But like, if you are, you know, this uwu soft bean leftist, isn't rehabilitation a big part of that worldview? Curious.
Which happened within weeks after he appeared on Tucker Carlson's show, is not a very responsible use of your platform. And, you know, he did have his complaints about the convention, including talking about the outrageous parking situation in the footage where he actually walks pretty close to my car. He talked about the layout of the convention being not very professional, about the lines being disorderly, but never once does he have a single word of criticism about Mad Monster as an organization for their attempted rehabilitation of Kevin Spacey as a public figure, or the fact that he is greatly profiting off this appearance from people who are probably struggling, and honestly, probably can't or at least shouldn't afford the $300 fee that it costs to get in the room with him for maybe 10 seconds. He then goes on to say that he looks forward to going—
Then don't pay it. I don't understand what the fucking issue is here. Like, one, don't go to the convention if you're upset that they have Kevin Spacey there, which is reasonable enough to me. If you don't want to support Kevin Spacey and rehabilitating his image, okay, then don't go, one. And then two, if you do go, begrudgingly, why would you be ass mad that it was expensive to take pictures with him?
Going to Mad Monster Con again next year. But even if you look at some of his footage within his own video, you can just see how dead this place was. Most of my footage was taken from the busiest times of the day, but the majority of the con before noon and after 2 p.m. just felt totally empty. And the depressing visuals that he's showing in his video do not match with his glowing review. I don't want to make presumptions about Leach. I had the opportunity to talk with him that day. I saw him walking around a few times, but decided against it. So we've never actually met. But in his video, there are a couple of red flags that really scream out at me.
Jan and Elizabeth were the objects of my youth. If you like really crass comedies from the 2000s before everything got all sensitive, definitely check out Sorority Boys.
So to me, he is one and the same with Mad Monster, both spinning content for money while ignoring the potential harm that the event itself might cause. And I'm really not trying to harm Leach's image.
What is the harm that the event caused? You pay money to go and see, like, the actor from Seven. And if you don't want to go and see the actor from Seven, you don't pay them. What is the harm? What is the harm?
By comparing his experience to mine. Again, I don't know the man. And to be honest, I don't actually really think that he would be that bad of a guy. Just painfully centrist, seemingly leaning a little towards liberal. Like he tweets pro-LGBT stuff, anti-racist stuff, but then he says things like, said it before and I'll say it again. Right or left, the extreme political people are fucking nut jobs. And I despise a review.
That's a milquetoast as fuck take, dude. What? That, like, politically extreme people are crazy?
Being a political statement. And I have—
This is the male essence of thought, you guys. This is the man version of essence of thought.
No clue why politics has to work its way into literally everything, but I despise the fact that it does. So, you know,
Wait, what was that tweet in response to? Hang on.
I have no clue.
Depending on where you are on the political spectrum, your enjoyment of hashtag Top Gun Maverick might depend on how much you're willing to shut out the real world and surrender to movie star magic. Well, I mean, Top Gun is like a war movie. So I could understand that that would be politically engaged. So you could say that this is kind of like a dumb take, I guess. But like some people just watch Top Gun because they're like, cool, like war movie, like very cool. But like, yeah, Top Gun is kind of like a politicized movie because the US government like paid money, or they didn't pay money, excuse me. In Top Gun, they, if they portrayed the US military in like a positive light or whatever, they let them use military like planes and equipment and shit to shoot the movie. So like, it is political, yes, but like also some people just watch Top Gun and go, wow, explosions go boom, and that's like the extent of their engagement with it.
Clue why politics has to work its way into literally everything, but I despise the fact that it does. So, you know, a bit of a mixed bag there to me. I don't want this whole section of the video to just be about him. He's a small example of a greater problem that I think is an issue within horror, which is that the existence of centrist and liberal views, mixed with a love of genre, acts as a shield and breeding ground for right-wing harm within our community. Because as we will see—
What is the harm? Please articulate to me where on the doll the harm is getting you. The harm is that this guy is like, I don't like that movies are political. That's his engagement with the subject matter. He just likes that things go boom in the movie. And that's fine. It's fine to do a review and be like, it was really sick when they, like, did the scene where they, you know, like, blew up an oil tanker or whatever. Like, here's something for you guys. This would probably make this guy's, like, fucking skin melt off, okay? I liked Mad Max first and foremost because they literally just built all of those cars and like drove them around in the desert for a few days. That was like my favorite part of the movie, is that they like actually built all these fucking rigs, drove them around in the desert, blew them up, and the explosions were cool, all the fight scenes were cool and shit like that. That was my favorite part of the movie. Like, yes, it's about freedom and slavery and, you know, bad people hoarding. Yes. But you know what else was like really fucking cool? When they blew up the big rig. That was also really cool. Like,
time and time again throughout this, people who hold these liberal stances will side with conservatives over progressives at every single given opportunity, and will not criticize horror unless it is art house, and also will not stand for other people to criticize horror. You know, I myself have never once in my life described a woman as an object. I think that he should put more thought into the words that he says publicly, and how he uses his platform. But also,
wait, what? Where did he describe a woman as an object? Can I get that clip?
Seems like an alright guy, which is
Where's the clip?
The
Let me see
of
it.
conservatism within all forms of art, and every aspect of life, is marched down a road that is paved by smiling friendly liberals. A centrist view of this event didn't even think that it was worth mentioning the act of harm that was being done here. Because
what harm?
Good time after all, right? It is a mindset
Yes! He literally went to go and have a good time. He went to a convention to have a silly, goofy time with the girls. That's fine. That, in your communist utopia, are you not allowed to have fun with the girls?
Consume the product and ask no questions about how the product was actually made, or who was harmed in the making of this product.
Who was harmed?
And if I see him, I will be very happy to see him. But at the same time, I understand the allegations against him, and that's kind of weird. But Mad Monster is an amazing thing that I'm glad I'm at. And whether or not he's here doesn't stop how awesome this convention is.
Again, I mean the man no ill will. Genuinely. I do not.
Okay, again, don't go. And then two, it's not a Kevin Spacey convention, it's a horror movie convention with the theme being Seven, so Kevin Spacey's gonna be there. Like, I
wish to harm his livelihood whatsoever by including him here. Please, do not go say mean things to or about him. I will not stand for anyone who is mentioned here to be harassed in any way. Do not do that. I think as a culture, we need to learn where to actually direct our anger in constructive ways based around unity that will result in actual
our anger needs to be pushed forward in a constructive way. Let me spend 20 minutes talking about how this guy is like the dumbest fucking person alive because he went to this convention to have fun. But you guys, let's be respectful and kind. But also, this guy's a fucking idiot. How dare he have a good time? People are dying, Kim.
Tangible good. Which is something I shouldn't have to outright say, but after my Halloween video last year, a lot of people sent Sean death threats and threats of violence, which is absolutely 100% genuinely unacceptable. It is behavior that I would never under any circumstances
death threats are bad, guys. Don't do that.
I'm deeply ashamed of any person who did that on my behalf. It should not be our way, and the real problem in this situation is clearly those actually facilitating Mad Monster as an organization. The companies themselves are almost always the problem here. People like Leech are merely side effects of the real issue. The day after the convention ended, Mad Monster posted on their Facebook, "Thank you all who joined us for a record-setting show. Your support always means a lot, but this time it really hit home. The overwhelming amount of you that took the time to express your love and appreciation made this easily our favorite party that we've ever hosted. We will continue to throw Mad Monster Party for you, not for random autograph collectors on the sidelines, basing their attendance on the current guest lineup, not for hypocritical virtue-signaling keyboard warriors, many of which still showed up. We threw this party for the Mad Monster family that have grown with us over the years, who get their tickets and—
Oh no, they made a cringy boomer post on Facebook. You should literally call 911. I would choose the bear if this is the guy I had to be in the fucking woods with. I would rather get mauled by a bear than be yapped to death by this fucking idiot. Oh my god.
Hotels before the first guest is even announced.
Also, sorry guys, I'll be really clear because, we're soying out a little bit. Don't go and harass this guy. Don't say mean things to him. Don't make him cry. Don't make him, you know, need a little nap or whatever. Don't harass. Don't say mean things, blah, blah, blah.
No, you're here for each other as much as for—
Obviously, this guy can't take a fucking joke. Obviously, I would assume that nobody here is going to go and harass this guy because of me alone, but obviously this guy can't take a fucking joke, so just—
And the vendors. Samantha Osborne, who worked the convention and has been employed by Mad Monster for the past 2 years, said on her Facebook page, "This weekend, Mad Monster hosted Kevin Spacey's first ever convention appearance. Despite varied opinions going in, there were no protests, and Spacey was received warmly. As a guest, he was nothing but gracious. That's all I have to say on the matter." Witchy woman on Twitter said,
wow, somebody came out and said and gave a neutral statement about somebody that was at an event that they helped put on. Shocking. I never would have guessed that somebody that is employed or like helps run these fucking things had a neutral thing to say. Wow, who would have known?
A lot of vendors are pulling out of Mad Monster Con in NC because of Kevin Spacey being on the guest list. It sucks because a lot of
No,
greats will be
Tempo,
there.
behave.
She then tagged several of the prominent guests, including John Glover, who played Riddler on Batman the Animated Series, who said, "No one pulled out. It was a lovely weekend. I don't appreciate tags in this nonsense. There are real dangers in the world. The Mad Monster guest list is not one of them." She responded by saying—
And again, Kevin Spacey was like kept behind like fucking bulletproof glass away from everybody at the convention so he wouldn't rape. Like, I think if anything, this was kind of the best outcome, was it not? He was literally on a leash for the entire fucking convention. He was there, he got to meet people, he got to, you know, talk about fucking Seven and What's in the Box or whatever, on his leash. That's fine, that's fine. He's downstairs sleeping. I'll get one later.
saying, "I know a few vendors personally, but please tell me more," to which he didn't respond. The Daily Wire in this time ran a piece defending the convention.
DB Maxwell, I completely agree with you. Like, I feel like they would sense that I am not a threat and that I don't wish them harm and that we would be like friends. I think they would be like, okay, this guy has good vibes, and they would like leave me alone. To be fair, I will be candid with everybody. I have been in the woods with bears before. I have encountered wild grizzly bears, and I have encountered wild black bears. They will 9 times out of 10 leave you alone. 1, if you don't fuck with them, and 2, if they don't have cubs. So if you're out and about, like during mating season, and you come across a bear, you're probably going to die. But you just don't go out in the woods during mating season, and they don't have little cubs, so they're not like overly aggressively, protective of the babies. But bears are actually giant pussies. That's a fun fact that a lot of people don't know. Bears are actually huge fucking scaredy cats. If you make enough noise and like make yourself big, they don't want the smoke. Unless they have cubs. If they have cubs, you're going to die. If they don't have cubs, like, bears are preferred. Bears are, like, not as horrible as people think, to be completely honest with you.
And their booking of Spacey. And just my opinion here, but no horror event should ever fumble the bag so badly that you get the Nazi news force coming to bat for you. That's like a shining example of how badly you have failed your community.
Okay, where are you camping, Theo? In fucking Antarctica? You're going to find a grizzly bear or a black bear. Those are the bears that you're going to run into. You should be more scared of cougars and mountain lions than you should bears. Okay, bears are dumb and hungry and clumsy and stupid, and they're very timid. They're scared of everything. If you make enough noise, they'll leave you alone. Like, bears are generally not that big of a deal. Okay, cougars are a big deal, and I'm not talking about the hot moms. I'm talking about the animal, the cougar. Okay, those are scary, but like grizzly bears, meh. Black bears kind of scary, but like they're giant pussies, dude. They are scared of everything. They're scared of their own shadow.
The week after the convention, Kevin Spacey tweeted a video, which is something that he almost never does. In fact, since his fall from grace in October of 2017, he has only tweeted 5 times. This was his 5th tweet. A video thanking Mad Monster for welcoming him back into public life, saying that he had a wonderful weekend, and how grateful he was for the opportunity, ending by saying that he was looking forward to appearing at the next Mad Monster event. He has since announced that he is working again in Paul Schrader's next film, and little by little, he is attempting through events like Mad Monster Con to establish a base within American culture.
Hey everybody, I'm just back from an incredible weekend I spent in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Mad Monster Convention. It was just so much fun, and I'm so grateful to all the fans who came out to say hello.
Okay, can anyone please confirm or deny, is Kevin Spacey still like an evil fucking molester? Okay, well, I disavow, obviously. I think that molesting children is bad, and I don't think that like coming on to children is appropriate. I think that's bad. I disavow. I would not go to an event if Kevin Spacey was there. I wouldn't want to throw my money at him. And I think it's fair to criticize this organization for having Kevin Spacey there. But I think we're doing like the essence of thought thing where we're going like too hard. Because I think that we could like reasonably say like Kevin Spacey was inappropriate like sexually with people that he worked with. This organization for like this fucking like, what is it, like convention or whatever, like they're trying to rehabilitate and like sanitize his image, and I don't think that's appropriate. Just given what he's accused of, I don't think that's appropriate, and I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And I will not be attending this convention because of that, because I don't want to give them my money, and I also don't want to like be involved in any way with this kind of shit. I think that's a fine thing to say. I don't think that anybody would be like super critical of that, but it's like this guy literally went to like this convention about 7 where Kevin Spacey was going to be there, and then he got mad that Kevin Spacey was there. It's like you could just say, hey, I think it's inappropriate that you guys are having Kevin Spacey as a guest based on what he's accused of. I think it's a mistake for the organization or this convention to host him, and I won't be attending because I think that it's inappropriate. I said that in 2 sentences, and this is a 3.5 hour long YouTube video. I just don't understand. I would call out the organization and not go. Why would you put your money into the organization? Yeah, I mean, like, if I had an issue with something, I wouldn't give them money. Like, I don't think that I would need to go to the Kevin Spacey convention to confirm that Kevin Spacey was there. Like, they're advertising that he's there, right? And you would see pictures and videos that he was there. Like, you don't have to, like, go and confirm with your own eyes that fucking Kevin Spacey is there. I just don't think that it would be... Like, I wouldn't put my money into that. If I had, like, you know, an issue with Kevin Spacey being at this convention, I wouldn't go to the convention. I'm giving them money. I wouldn't, if I disagree with the way that an organization is like doing whatever, I just won't shop there. And I can make obviously like public statements and say, guys, don't buy Hershey's chocolate or whatever, they're evil. Okay, but I don't need to buy Hershey's chocolate to confirm that Hershey's chocolate is illegal. I can have my criticisms of Hershey's chocolate and not buy it. I just don't get it. It's Himbo Summer. Let's go. Kevin Spacey was pretty isolated from the rest of the convention, like on another floor. Yeah, well, we watched that part of the video, and it was like, it seemed like he was mad about that, and I was like, isn't that what you want? Like, if Kevin Spacey is a molester, wouldn't you want him kept away from everybody? Like, I certainly would. Like, if you believe that if you believe the allegations, and I will say that I believe the allegations, that Kevin Spacey is, like, walking around, like, molesting people, yeah, I would think that he needs to be, like, in a glass box over there, and you can, like, take pictures, like, through the glass of Kevin Spacey. Like, we don't want to give him any opportunities to molest, right? Like, that would make sense to me. I don't know why he's bitching that he was kept separate from everybody else. Wouldn't you want that? I would. Obviously a mistake.
Your kind words meant so much to me. And, you know, people brought things also that I've never seen before. Posters I've never seen, and memorabilia, but in particular, it was the new stuff. This amazing clay guy.
This is for you, sir.
Oh, that's a cool little doll.
I signed a number mall, you have number one.
First of all, what is your name?
I'm Barry.
Barry, thank you, Barry. This is incredible. And second, how long have you been doing it?
All my life. I've been in business for 30 years.
It takes them about a week or so to put it together, so it was really kind of them to bring it to me as a gift. I also had a chance to see old friends like Chaz Palminteri, who is just a wonderful actor, but he's an even better person in real life. He was Agent Kuyon in Usual Suspects, and he was also in a film we did together called Hurlburt, which he's great in. And so it was great to catch up with him. I saw John Glover, I saw Lou Diamond Phillips, Kiefer Sutherland, a lot of people I just haven't seen in a long time. But also the people who run Mad Monster, they did such a great job. I mean, right from the people who have been running it for a long time, all the way down to the volunteers, so many people came by to say hello, and I felt so welcomed. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next one, and we'll have an announcement soon about when that's going to be. So take care of yourselves. We'll see you later.
Yeah. Okay, so this was just like him to complain, like, endlessly, pretty much. Because I think that, like, on their own, all of those criticisms make sense to me. Like, probably inappropriate that you guys are having, you know, Kevin Spacey come. Like, I have issues with that, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's good for you guys to, like, be rehabilitating his public image. Okay, then why go? And then why complain that he was kept away from everybody? It doesn't make any sense. It's like we're just complaining to complain, and I don't like that. Going was a mistake, definitely, but be a little meaner about not supporting people that support shitbags like Spacey. Actually going is really stupid. No, I would agree. Like, I think that if that's something that you care about, and I think that realistically, you guys, I'm going to take a very stunning and brave position right here. I think we should all care about, like, not raping children. I think that's something that everybody should care about. But like, if you're like, damn, it's really fucked up that this, you know, convention is inviting this guy, I think that's fucked up. Why on earth would you go? That doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. It's like, again, it's like he went to, you know, he went to, like, the rape convention, and then he was like, why are there rapists here? It's like, well, you went to a convention where Kevin Spacey was going to be there, and then you got pissed that Kevin Spacey was there. It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
I'd like to talk to you about the worst week of my life. So, January of 2022, okay? I made a video about The Hills Have Eyes that went very badly. And I've never really spoken about this or even really addressed that it was a thing, except for maybe just a...
Personally, if I was this guy and I made this take about Hills Have Eyes, I would never talk about it again. I think we're going to hear his Hills Have Eyes take. I think that I would delete my social media and never show my fucking face on the internet again if I made this Hills Have Eyes take, unironically.
A couple of times on Twitter. I guess when it happened, I just hoped that it would eventually disappear, but it never has. And I think that we should start here by addressing the elephant in the room far too long after he arrived. So, this is a brief reanalysis of Wes Craven, The Hills Have Eyes, and the internet's general response to some pretty basic things that I said.
Wait, is he talking about the remake? Is that what he's talking about?
This is a brief reanalysis of Wes Craven, The Hills Have Eyes, and the internet's general response.
No, this is the original one. Okay.
To some pretty basic things that I said about him and his work about 2 years ago. In the time since making that video, very often it is the case that when conservatives want to criticize me, they will go back to that and use it as a weapon, by twisting my words in very bad faith to make it look like I said something that I obviously did not intend if you had watched the video. Usually in an attempt to make me either look crazy, or cartoonish, or racist, or that I don't-
Yeah, I think, I'm gonna take a really, edgy stance here, you guys. He's about to give his Hills Have Eyes take here in a moment, okay? I think that this is schizophrenia. It is reminiscent to me of people who will watch movies and, like, they just go too hard. Or they're like, I think that Blue's Clues is actually an allegory for MK Ultra and how the government is poisoning the water supply to kill everybody. and make us crazy and fallible to China. Like, I think that his take on The Hills Have Eyes borders on paranoid delusion and schizophrenia. That is my that is my harshest take. Okay, because this shit is bananas. So let's not get too crazy. Let's continue.
Don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm unqualified to have this job. A recent example of this happened in this past January.
I listened to a little bit of The One Good. Okay, so for anybody who has not seen The Hills Have Eyes, okay? Basically, a family is driving through the desert. It's like I think it's in Nevada. Hills Have Eyes. It's a 1977 movie. This is an old one, but they made a new one. Okay, it's in Southwest California, okay? So this family is driving through the desert, okay? They're going on vacation. They have their cute little van, and they're, driving. They get a flat tire in the middle of the desert, and they're like, fuck. And so they're trying to fix the flat tire, and the dog gets out of the RV, okay? And the dog runs away. And they're like, oh, fuck, we gotta go get the dog. So they're stranded in the desert, they're fixing their flat tire, and then a couple of them go and look for the dog. In the hills, in the abandoned hills, are people that lived in the hills when they were doing Project Manhattan, where they were, or the Manhattan Project, I should say, when they were detonating nuclear bombs in that area. And this family chose not to leave. And so they became irradiated mutants that live in the hills, okay? And when unsuspecting people stumble upon, their area in the desert where they used to blow shit up to see if the nukes were real or whatever, they cannibalize them and rape them. Well, first they rape them, then they cannibalize them. But nonetheless, they do horrible things to these people. That is The Hills Have Eyes. The Hills Have Eyes is a survival, gore movie about a family that is stranded in the desert, and there's irradiated mutants that live in the hills, and they cannibalize and rape them because they had the horrific crime of looking for their lost dog. Okay, that's The Hills Have Eyes.
Because if people say things enough times, then other people will believe it. It doesn't matter if it's actually true. He was the first that I could tell to actually tweet something negative about me in the fallout from that video's release, when he said, YouTube film essayist, the cannibals in The Hills Have Eyes are actually the good guys, because they're poor, and the family is everything wrong about America. They're middle class and one is a retired cop. Cuts to footage.
Okay, so he is not native. Okay, confirmed.
Of January 6th storming the Capitol, which I hope you'll be able to see is taking my basic argument and contorting it to appear as ridiculous as possible.
Okay, I'm gonna be annoying. We're going to be annoying together for a second. If I was this guy, and I wasn't stupid, and I wanted to make this segment about how I had a really stupid take about The Hills Have Eyes, and I'm trying to write the record, I would start this segment by showing a clip of my take. Because right now, I don't care, because I don't know what your take is. So I can't be on your side about your take about The Hills Have Eyes, and all these people are slandering you and misinterpreting your words, and they're just too conservative and stupid. I need to know what the take is. So if I could give this guy advice, when you're going to defend a take that you have made, you need to tell people what the take is. Because right now, I don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Even though it did make sense within the context of the actual video. I mean, that video is an hour and 25 minutes, reducing what I was trying to get across down to a single one-sentence tweet. Of course,
we're mind-melting, don't smoke in bed, we're twins.
Is going to make me look like an insane person. You can literally do that with anything that anyone says, but it isn't being done in the fair spirit of argument. It isn't an actual response to what I was saying. It is lashing out
then
on top.
What were you
got
saying?
370 likes with that one. Another time to 867 likes.
300 likes. Oh, you guys, does anybody care? It got 300 likes. Oh my god, this guy's life is over. Hello, nobody's gonna help him?
Said, I like IPOS videos for the most part, but this man has brainworms. His Hills Have Eyes video is the most schizophrenic far leftist ramblings I've ever heard. He said the family deserved to be raped and killed because they represented colonial USA and the hill people are native. By my count, he has tweeted at least 10 times over the past 2 years about this, and that is without me
10 times in the past 2 years. Ten tweets for like 700 days. Wow, dude. How do you get up in the morning? How do you live? How do you live knowing this guy made 10 tweets over you? Over the course of 2 years. 10 tweets in 2 years. Oh my god, Mr. President. A second plane has struck the... Oh my god, first it was 300 likes. Now it's 10 tweets? Wow. I don't know how this guy does it. A real American hero.
actually even looking very hard. I'm sure it has happened even more than that. I have never once before now interacted with him or even acknowledged his existence. And he's often really condescending with this too. In one tweet saying that I'm
You would definitely know, wouldn't you? What's this guy's name? I don't want to call him whatever his fucking dumb YouTube name is. His name is like, I bet his name is like Greg or something. What the fuck is this guy's name? His name is Zane. That's like the whitest name I've ever heard in my life. That's... I might as well name him like Bartholomew or some shit. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm sorry.
I must have forgotten my meds that day. Essentially, every single time implying that I think rape, violence, and cannibalism is literally a good thing, and that I'm also a racist. Around that same time in January,
Okay, we're talking about racism, cannibalism, rape. Can we just get your take, bro?
an account going by crackhead
Just like a hint, like, and I know that you need the help because you have an almost 500k sub YouTube channel and your views are in the fucking toilet. Please listen to me. If you are going to say everybody was mad at me about my take, you need to tell us what your take was.
Clyde said to me, I don't get how you can show more sympathy for the violent cannibals in The Hills Have Eyes than a kid who is defending himself during a riot, or a competing YouTuber who has different opinions from you, which we're gonna get to all this in a little bit, but the kid that he was talking about defending himself was Kyle Rittenhouse. The Hills Have Eyes is their favorite thing to use against me because it is really all they've got. And not that we should be really taking the opinions of Crackhead Clyde extremely seriously, but the issue is the army of crackhead
Ableism? Ableism? Did anybody else catch that ableism? You're making fun of somebody for being a crackhead? That is not very leftist of you. We're making fun of somebody and their addiction. Seems inappropriate.
read a single tweet about you and then assume that it is true and hold that against you for years. Literally, there has not been a single week that has gone by in over 2 years that I didn't have somebody saying something shitty to me about that video. And I don't think that most of them have actually even watched it. And I kind of want to look at this because
Okay, let's look at it.
was a
Please,
huge
show the
negative
video.
turning point in my life. And the way
Show
that
the
that
video.
one video was received has really impacted everything around me. Before
Okay,
that,
show the
I was
video.
relatively comfortable financially. I could make the kinds of videos that I wanted to and have honestly struggled very badly ever since then. If you want to know why I make so many franchise videos now, it's because I still need to eat. And those are the only things that ever gain any traction now. Everything else I do...
I have another, like, scalding hot... This guy literally is just Essence of Thought. You cannot convince me that this isn't Essence of Thought with a fake mustache on. That's what this is right now. This is Essence of Thought in a mustache. In a disguise. In, like, a Scooby-Doo disguise. Okay? If you cannot make enough money to pay your rent from making YouTube videos, get a fucking job. Get a fucking job. Are you serious? Get a job. You guys, I'm having such a hard time making ends meet. Like, it's so fucked up. Ever since I made a really stupid take about The Hills Have Eyes, I haven't been able to pay my bills, and I've been late on rent, and I've really been struggling. Okay, Taco Bell's hiring. Go on. Go on, go apply at Taco Bell. Go ahead. Throw your application down on the counter. Do it. Hell, what is the other solution? Starve to death? What?
dies as soon as it's released. For transparency, this is a graph of my total lifetime views on my channel, and this is the point where I posted The Hills Have Eyes. There is a clear delineation before.
This guy has to be kidding. This guy has to be rage baiting. You can see here that you have like viral videos, right? So this is generally how algorithmic engagement works, is that you'll peak, right? You'll have, and I'm not going to get up my thing right now, but if you guys go on Social Blade and you look at my channel, this is what every fucking channel does. So you post a video. So say you're consistently uploading content. Say you're uploading a video a week. Okay, you're gonna be pretty stagnant in here. This is gonna be like your average viewer base. This is gonna be like people that are subscribed to you, people that watch your videos or whatever. You're gonna post a video that's gonna pop off, and it's gonna go outside of your audience, and you're gonna get a ton of views or whatever. And then after all the hype of that dies down, you're gonna kind of come down here or whatever, and then it's gonna be a repeatable pattern. And you can see here that this is a peak. We can see here this is a peak. This is our video. It's just this is how the algorithm works. You do not retain audiences from viral videos because you're either talking about a topic that they care about, but they don't give a fuck about your content particularly. They just care about this like topic or whatever. They're not going to be like subscribing to your channel. They just want to hear your take. This is just undeniably true. This is just undeniably true. This is how the algorithm works.
And after me making that, and at least from my perspective, I'm not really sure if that response was entirely fair or justified. I don't think that as a person, I deserve that based on my...
You don't deserve what? For people to dislike your fucking content? They're like ball and chain to you for life because they fucking subscribe to you? They just didn't like your fucking video, dude. What do you mean? That's not fair. It's not fair. I made a video and they didn't like it, and so they started unsubscribing and unfollowing me. It wasn't fair. I didn't deserve it. I want to peel my skin off and eat it.
My performance in that one single video. I understand that I am not entitled to your time whatsoever. Or
no,
anything
you're
like
not.
That. I'm just a guy on the internet. But if you stopped
True.
watching me over the public reception to that one work, then I kind of want to talk about that a little bit here. Because there's...
What are you talking about? There's literally... This
not
is
an insignificant amount of people who frequently say untrue things about me. And in the long term, it has kind of ruined my ability to make a living.
Welcome to the internet!
My own work. And all of this has been built on a misconstrued idea of what I was actually talking about. But before we get to that, let's take a look at some other movies made by Wes Craven, so that we have...
No! I want to hear your take!
Because
I want to hear your take!
Undeniably an extremely left-leaning filmmaker.
I think that I'm getting stunt locked on this too hard, because, like, even if Wes Craven is, like, left-leaning, like we talked about earlier, with allegory and deeper meaning in film, it's death of the artist. Nobody wants to have their hand held to a conclusion in a movie. That's why Jordan Peele doesn't hit very hard. That's why Mother didn't hit very hard. If he is a leftist, and he's making these films as a criticism of, like, capitalism or anything like that, or imperialism and what have you, that's fine. In the same way that, like, George Lucas made Star Wars, and it's political pretty much in nature, right? That doesn't mean that everybody who enjoys Star Wars has to be a leftist. And that doesn't mean that everybody, you know, who enjoys a Wes Craven film has to be, like, anti-capitalism or anti-imperialism or anything like that. You can just like the movie because you like the movie. Oh. Bye, Tempo. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out. Love you, bye.
Leftist mainstream horror filmmaker that was ever working at his level. The dude genuinely hated most things that modern America stood for, including corporate culture, the decline and failure of our systems, the harm and uselessness of the police, the damage that white culture has done to non-white cultures both within the physical boundaries of the United States but also on a global scale. You can find this subtext.
You can definitely say this about Serpent and the Rainbow. I don't know if you would say that about Scream.
Throughout every single one of his films. It's just
or
an
Nightmare on Elm
objective
Street.
fact. Take Nightmare on Elm Street, a movie about a child killer who the government let go on a technicality, where the system failed them so badly that the parents of the victims have to band together to form some sort of frontier justice lynch mob, because the government is so useless that they have let him slip through the cracks. So, Nancy's mother, Marge, says at one point in relation to Krueger being able to walk free, well, the lawyers got fat and the judge got famous, but somebody forgot to sign a search warrant in the right place and Krueger was free just like that. In the end, a teenage girl has to take down the...
But you could say, like, let's take this, like, a little bit deeper, okay? Freddy Krueger, the canon basically of Freddy Krueger is that Freddy Krueger was like a child molester, and he got off on a technicality. The community did like mob justice, and they burned down his house while he was trapped inside, and that's why he's like all blistered and, you know, yucky and what have you. If we take that a step further, what does that say about mob justice and mob rule? Because now he's haunting everyone's dreams and fucking killing everybody. So what does that say about retribution as a principle? Probably that it's not good, right? That retribution, like hate equals hate. Can't fight fire with fire. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Like, you could say that that is more the underlying principle, I would say. Right? Like, if I want to be, like, fucking pretentious as shit and, like, sit here and sip my fucking beverage, it's like, how, Zane, are you so fucking dumb that you didn't notice the direct implication that vigilantism is bad? That vigilantism is not a replacement for, like, putative criminal justice. That when we step outside of the systems that are set forward for us in order to keep us a polite society, bad things happen. Like, how fun is it to play faux intellectual when you're, like, too fucking stupid to even see the fucking subtext that is in your face? Freddy Krueger literally murders people. He literally is haunting everyone in the town because they fucking lynched him. Okay, I'm done.
Rapes
Sorry.
herself while the cops stand right outside on the front lawn listening to her screams, watching and going, oh gosh, oh gee, whatever are we gonna do? Which is something that is still happening in real life. And in that light, a running theme throughout every single one of Craven's Scream films is how the cops are incompetent, and never once in any of the movies do they actually catch the killer. And that's not even to mention the criticisms of Harvey Weinstein in Scream 3. If you look at his 1981 follow-up to The Hills Have Eyes, Deadly Blessing, it too has a strong message on the ineffectiveness of the police, as when one of our main women protagonists is basically begging the sheriff to do something about a dangerous man, instead of just sitting by and watching as bad things happen to innocent people, he says to her, if something happens, I won't be here in time for nothing but cleanup. Vampire in Brooklyn is kind of a strange movie, one that dares to ask the question, what if we cast Eddie Murphy and...
Okay, I'm bored. I want his Hills Have Eyes take. I don't... Okay. There we go.
Another instance of Craven using a cannibalism metaphor in relation to wealth
Oh,
and power
here we
to
go.
servant and drive them around in a stolen limo. Another instance of Craven using a cannibalism metaphor in relation to wealth and power dynamics. A movie that also includes a scene where a white woman holds a black man hostage in a park with pepper spray up to his eyes, telling him that she hates to do this because she understands what capitalism has done to black culture, but that she just doesn't feel safe seeing him in the park after dark. A total parody on the hypocritical mindset that liberals have held for decades now. It is also not the only movie that he made that primarily features an all-black cast, and is based around issues that affect black people. The Serpent and the Rainbow is about an all-white imperialist American pharmaceutical company
Really good movie, you guys. Serpent and the Rainbow is a really good movie. Would recommend.
who sends a tall, white, light-haired, handsome man to try and incorporate himself into the culture.
I'm
of
ready
Haiti,
for the
to learn
take.
their tricks of how they create Haitian zombies, to then steal their old folk medicines so that they can market them and capitalize off of them. Midway through the movie,
Another movie that you could argue is kind of the same thing is Anaconda Blood Orchard. It's kind of the same vibe. I think that this is like, I understand the trope and everything, but I don't think it's like this like highly contextual, like nuanced take or whatever. I think it's a pretty generally understood subgenre of film where it's like white person steals from not white person and shit hits the fan. I think that's like a pretty common trope in movies. Like you can see the same thing in Poltergeist, anything with King Tut, right? Like it's a pretty common trope in film, I feel like, where you have like a dumb white person who's like, oh my god, like forbidden Egyptian treasure, and then they get like possessed by like fucking Ramses the Third or something. Like I feel like this isn't like a super like, oh my god, wow, such reading between the lines, such intellect. I feel like that's kind of like a common thing, I guess.
at the dinner scene at the CEO's house, where they are planning and celebrating this, genuinely having a conversation about violence that they plan to enact against poor black people. Everyone who is at the table is white, and the butler who serves them is black. And because he's there to steal from them, the protagonist is never able to actually immerse himself in their culture, and never attempts to understand the Haitians on a spiritual level. He is a cultural leech. And just because he is the protagonist, does not mean that Craven is trying to paint him as a good person. The family in The Hills Have Eyes. In fact, just like The Hills Have Eyes, Craven is using Serpent and the Rainbow to show a very complicated situation, where both sides have strong issues going on, as the black political antagonists of the film are using excessive violence and fear to politically control their people through police force. Everyone is painted in shades of gray, but Craven clearly does not think that our protagonist is actually a good person. The People Under the Stairs follows a black child who is being evicted because his family cannot pay their rent and his mother is
No, I want The Hills Have Eyes take,
that
please.
leads him to learning that their white landlords are secretly BDSM, racist, serial killing, incestuous siblings who got into the landlord business to be able to inflict pain in their non-killing hours. It is not a stretch to suggest that the man who made a movie about landlords being evil, racist monsters who are going to be killed by their community would have some other things to say about the systematic economic problems in America and how it relates to racial history. And clearly based on his other works, if he has a protagonist in a story that is an old white cop, like in The Hills Have Eyes, he is not going to write him as if he is a good person. I'm not saying my opinions here. I am literally telling you factual information about what happens in these movies. There is this thing that the internet does, where one person says something that is false but sounds believable and is tangentially related to what actually happened, and then other people start to repeat it out of context, and morph it, and slowly escalate it, until it just becomes general belief, even though it is detached from reality. And this is what I think happened here in my situation, where people somehow got the notion that I was a racist, pro-cannibal, pro-rape, and sexual assault weirdo, which, you know, I find genuinely insulting. It's like some people had never heard of the concept of a metaphor before. So, if we go back to my original video, okay, my basic argument was—
Hang on 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna spoil a little bit for you guys. Okay? He's gonna say that the Hill people are an allegory for indigenous people, for like Native Americans, okay? Because the white people come to their land and they're defending their land from these people that lost the fucking dog and they just go looking for the dog because their car broke down. If my allegory is that the white mutant irradiated people that live in the hills and rape and cannibalize anybody that even accidentally comes across their path is a direct allegory to indigenous people, I would say that, and then you're defending the indigenous people, and he defends the hill people, I would say, yes, you're defending them being rapist cannibals. And on top of that, you're comparing indigenous people to rapist cannibals.
was that the Hill people in The Hills Have Eyes are a stand-in for any type of person who has been marginalized by the American imperial machine. Native Americans, any non-white people,
please kill me,
please
kill me. Guys, the irradiated, cannibalistic, raping hill people in The Hills Have Eyes are basically queer and neurodivergent. Please execute me!
In opposition to the family, whose father is a police officer, whose background is upper middle class, who are openly racist, demanding, and hostile, who also have a German Shepherd it out for survival. About how at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, we are all capable of great violence against one another. I do not think that that is an outrageous reading of that film. It isn't even really subtext. It's just the plot of the movie. People got extreme.
Okay, but Why don't you give the real take, Zane? Why don't you give the real take where you compared the hill people to indigenous people? And it's not really that big of a deal that they're cannibal rapists because they're a product of their circumstance and colonialism.
Extremely mad at me for recapping the plot of The Hills Have Eyes. Because genuinely, if you go back and
Let's
watch
speed
that
it up
video,
a little
that
bit.
is all I am doing. It is a very basic reading on Wes Craven's intended message of that film based on his own words and what he put on the screen. I'm not even saying that I agree with everything going on in the movie. I also certainly did not write the movie. And truth be told, I also think that Wes Craven is a little overrated, and I'm somewhat mixed on his filmography as a whole. Thematically, I think he's great, but on a basic filmmaking level, he was at times fairly weak.
Guys, I know I gave this really dog shit take about this movie, but I actually think this guy's kind of an idiot, so you can't be mad at me.
I was literally just talking about what Craven was trying to do in his script and how he saw the movie. That's all. Still, I started to receive comments like this. I can't imagine watching this film and coming away with the conclusion that the cannibals are secretly the good guys, and the biggest tragedy is that they didn't eat the people passing through.
Notice how he doesn't show the clip of his original take, because that pretty much was his take, is that, like, you have to be able to be empathetic to the rapist cannibals because they're analogous to indigenous people, and because they're a product of their circumstance. No, you guys, I think that even if I encountered some remote tribe in the Amazon where it was normal for them to, like, kill and rape everybody who, like, think of, like, North Sentinel Island. I still think it's bad that they fucking kill everybody that comes near them. Yes. Like, I understand that, you know, they're scared of everything, and they fucking should be. God bless them for being isolated for so long. I completely understand. I can also say comfortably, like, killing people bad. Like,
He stabs him in the heart not to kill him, but to remind him of his place. Or maybe it was just to kill the cannibal who attacked him and his family. I don't know. Just my interpretation. It's edgy takes for the sake of engagement. Love
so true, dude. Like, guys, somebody is coming to kill and rape your family, and you stab them. What a white privilege take of you. How white and privileged of you to stab the person who is coming to rape and kill your family. That's a very
this channel.
white
I don't think
supremacist
it was
thing to
actually
do.
fine that these cannibals killed, raped, and ate people who just crashed their car in the wrong spot because capitalism is bad, and actually they're the good guys is the take that I would have gone with. You can defend your home without eating people. You have an extremely warped
So
moral
true.
compass. Class this, class
Yes.
that, blah blah blah. I like your videos, but the commie talk is distracting and arrogant. We side with the vacation.
It just seems like this guy wants to be able to make videos but not get any, like, criticism or, like, ulterior commentary, I guess. Like, just turn the comments off on your video then. Like, people are gonna disagree with your take. Like, welcome to the fucking internet. How does this guy have, like, almost a 500k sub YouTube channel? Like, and he just cannot handle that people disagree with his takes. He's, like, literally shitting and fucking crying because people are like, I don't agree with your take. Truthfully.
Vacationing family because they are a down on their luck group trying to get unstuck until they're hunted by opportunistic murderers who want to eat them. They're not inherently sympathetic because they're white or rich. They're sympathetic because they're the victims in the movie, not just the victims in your metatextual want for what you think the movie should be. The Carters win because good should triumph over evil. Jesus, Wes is spinning in his grave for an hour and 25 minutes. Woke Overthinking presents a woke critique of a B movie lacking any intellectual heft. If I had a nickel for every time a horror channel assumes something in a film is an allegory or a metaphor, I'd be rich by now. So tiring. I think this dude is gay or some. He can't go a video without having disrespect towards
Chill,
also,
no.
the hillbillies are cannibals. How are you going to sympathize with them? Had to stop watching at 15 minutes. I think you're viewing the film through a modern woke lens, and you're really stretching the themes to fit your personal bias. Really hard to take you seriously now. Just because you're a communist doesn't mean that every movie is about class struggle or social inequality. Holy cow, you make it sound like the cannibal rapists are the good guys. Gross dude. Typical liberal garbage. Every time I think I like this channel, this guy spews some overthought lefty garbage that takes me right out of it. So what I have gathered from this video is people who commit tragedies such as mass shootings are justified because they have been wronged by society, and society should expect innocents to suffer because of that. Oof. The overinterpretation of capitalism bad by making the literal raped, murdered, and eaten victims into the bag.
Why is this guy just, like, reading, like, the top 10 greatest hits of people roasting him in the comments? Like, he has no self-awareness. Like, he's literally taking the time to read all these fucking comments of him just getting absolutely bodied. LOL.
Guys of the movie was my cue to unsub. Sorry bud, you lost me. You went way too off the mark. I've enjoyed several of your videos, but damn, you seem to be a bit lost in this one. Your stances just seem a bit warped. And why inject politics into a movie anatomy? Social justice? I was rolling my eyes throughout. I mean, come on, man. LOL, I've watched a few other videos of his and didn't notice his political leanings, and here's the thing, I don't actually care what they are. It's just pretty silly to inject social justice into a review of The Hills Have Eyes, LOL. Yeah, I can't help but disagree with this video. This might be your worst yet. I despise—
What is that laugh? What the fuck was that? Hang on, we're gonna be haters really quick. Hang on. Hate time.
Be your Hills Have Eyes, LOL. Yeah, I can't help but disagree with this video. This might be your worst yet. I despise—
That was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Ah, why did you edit that out? That caused me psychic damage. I did not like that.
your political analysis of this film. Calling police officers, people who put their lives on the line for a job, a symbol of oppression, shows a huge bias on your end. People are a lot more than their political affiliation, but I don't think you showcasing yours is very much appreciated by your audience. Would really appreciate it if you tried to be more impartial. 18 minutes in, and I had to stop.
Another one! Oh, please.
It really is an unwatchable video. Incredibly sad because I enjoyed a lot of the In Defense of Nicolas Cage. It really feels like night and day in terms of quality of the essay. While everyone is free to think what they want, and I really appreciate and enjoyed some of your other videos, here you're basically justifying that people should be assaulted, raped, cannibalized, based on their socioeconomic status and, dare I say, skin color. Would you have reacted the same way if the family was black, or came from another racial background, or is it only okay because the rich family was white? You are such a talented writer, with an impressive ability to digest a movie. But unfortunately, as so often these days, your politics tend to ruin some parts of your videos whenever you put your postmodern lens on. Sadly, you seem to be lost in a pretty bad place right now. Your so-called anatomy.
You cannot convince me that this isn't Essence of Thought with a fake mustache on. That's what this is right now. This is Essence of Thought in a mustache, in a disguise, in like a Scooby-Doo disguise, okay? If you cannot make enough money to pay your rent for making YouTube videos, get a fucking job.